This is ABC News.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WNSR. Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code LIFT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFT.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Wednesday afternoon to you. And yes, it is time for the McFarland Show here on WNSR. Darren and Justin live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio for the next 2 hours. DJ Damon is alongside. Hopefully he will not sing today, but you just never know with him. You just
never know.
Tennessee doesn't play till Friday, but he could break out into song on a Wednesday show. You just don't know. Speaking of that, the SEC tournament, Bridgestone Arena, men's, everything gets kicked off tonight. Vanderbilt will get everything started as Vanderbilt in Arkansas will tangle at 6 o'clock this evening. That game can be watched on SEC Network. Then the nightcap will be Missouri and Georgia. That's the Wednesday action in the SEC tournament. And then the winner of the Vandy Arkansas game will get South Carolina tomorrow. And yeah, Missouri, nobody cares who gets the Missouri Georgia win. Nobody cares. So we move on.
Jeez.
There are some other games that have gone by. Well, I mean, nobody cares. There's literally maybe a person.
All right, then.
If you care, call us or text us, and I'll
let
you know.
Or
it's called the end of the road bowl.
I mean, it's just, if you want to play Boys to Men again, I mean,
Right,
it's just
that's
not.
okay.
There's nobody cares.
Call us or text us, and then we won't care about that.
If somebody was listening, like, wait a minute, you didn't tell me who the Missouri-Georgia winner plays.
So
on
0 and
Thursday.
18, right?
Yeah, Georgia or Missouri. Yeah, nice season.
Okay.
After last year, I was at the SEC tournament on Saturday, and that's the semifinals. Missouri was in it.
Yes, that is true.
They were a really good team last year. Not so much this year.
How about if Mike White went from Florida to Georgia, and Florida's in the get ready to go into the finals, and Georgia's terrible?
Well, they're not ready to go in the finals, but
Who's going to the finals?
You just let the cat out of the bag. There you go. Florida is who plays the winner of Mississippi. You just
just brought it there.
You couldn't take it.
I didn't.
You were dying to know. You were
really
clamoring to know. Florida gets there. You have it.
I didn't really read it.
We aim to please.
There you go.
Florida gets the Missouri and Georgia winner.
Everybody good?
Woo!
Everybody good?
You don't have to call now. It's
we good?
My bad.
Everybody all right?
Keeping you in the dark on that one. A lot of people are like, what? What this nightcap game? What? Who plays them?
Everybody got your bracket filled out?
That's why I saw those Georgia fans downtown a while ago.
You did not see any Georgia.
I really did.
They had football jerseys on.
Yeah.
And they weren't here
Saw
for the
some of them.
basketball game. There are some games that have gone final today. It's going to be college basketball all week. Florida State winners today over Virginia Tech. They win 87-76. Of course, this is the ACC tournament. We've got a final in the Atlantic 10, and I believe that was the championship game. So St. Joe's, if I'm looking at this right, punches their ticket. They beat George Mason. So St. Joe's over George Mason, 64-57. That was the Atlantic 10 championship game. The AAC championship right now, that game is final. Wichita State winners over Rice, 88-81. So the Shockers punched their ticket. Under 500 this season.
Wow. And still got it done. Normally they're over 500. Normally under 500. But, Shockers have been getting it done out of that conference for a long time now. Or consistent.
I'm sorry. The St. Joe's did not win the A-10. My bad. That's not the championship game.
Okay.
My bad.
We'll wait and see.
BYU beat UCF 87-73. BYU's good.
Okay.
They're ranked. But let me just tell you, I'm going to give you a little tip.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
For whenever we will pick our games next week.
Yeah.
I will probably have BYU losing in the first round, no matter who they play.
Because
every year
they lose in the first round.
Every year that they get in the tournament, they lose in the first round.
What if they're the sexy 5 versus 12 thing?
That's the thing. People always are.
They're always the 5 versus 12.
Have you watched the Cougars this year? BYU's good. That Sean Bradley's good. He's tall.
Nothing is more attractive in the NCAA tournament than the 5 versus 12 matchup. That 5 versus 12 upset is always so tempting every year.
I'm just telling you, I will pick BYU to lose.
All right.
Spoiler alert. I don't even need to see the matchup. I'll pick them to lose.
Okay.
You know why? Because they do it every year.
Every year.
And somebody is trying to convince everybody. I'm telling you, BYU is a live dog. They can make a run. You're going to hear that. Somebody will say that.
Some analyst somewhere.
And I'll be laughing. And I'll be like, okay, you go with that. And I'm going to pick them to lose in the first round. And I don't even know the matchup.
Okay.
How about that? Okay.
All right.
In about 50 minutes, the NFL, everything's going to be official.
Official.
Okay.
Officially official.
And you have to be right by the cap.
Yes. Some teams have been making some moves already to get right by the cap. Releasing some high-priced players to get right by the cap. Mike Williams released by the Chargers a couple of hours ago. So the Chargers can get right by the cap. The Chargers had a cap mess on their hands.
They were, I think, $20 million over.
Yeah.
And they saved $20 million by cutting Mike Williams.
Yeah. But they got a bunch of guys.
Right.
Like
Khalil Mack.
Who
apparently
Allen,
they're bringing
Bosa.
back.
Yeah, they got a bunch of dudes there.
Yeah.
So they had some decisions to make.
Yeah. But apparently they're going to bring, maybe Mike Williams is the only cap casualty. They said they'd like to bring him back. I get it, too. I want to bring him back at a reduced rate. He's always hurt, man.
Yeah.
He's a guy,
3 games last year.
Honk if you've heard this before.
Yeah.
Man, when he plays, he's really good. Yeah, but how many games does he miss? Oh, usually about half of a season. Last year he missed 14 games.
Yeah.
He played in 3.
Yeah.
But usually it's about half a season.
Yeah, not good.
It's like, well, okay.
Not good.
You can't pay a wide receiver who's available half the season $20 million a year.
Nope. And they won't.
As good as he is. No, and you're right. And he won't. But no really new news on the Titans other than they're going to be hosting a lot of people. They're going to be talking to a lot of people. There's interest in Eric Armstead from the 49ers, according to Diana Rossini.
Seen that, yeah.
Apparently, they did sign an offensive lineman, Sadiq Charles. Is that how you say his first name? Sadiq Charles, 1 year,
yes,
$2.5 million. I think he's just a stopgap guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say he may be a camp guy. That's what it sounds like. I'm not even sure if he's gonna make the team for real.
Well, I think he's. Well, you're right. There's no guarantee.
No,
I think he just may be an extra body,
like depth guy.
Yeah, depth guy.
All right.
But other than that, apparently there's interest in Chase Young and some names that are attractive. By the way, we talked to the guy in Denver yesterday, covers the Broncos for The Athletic, and he said, the Titans got Cushenberry, which was a big loss. We know Jerry Jeudy went to the Browns. We know Russell Wilson is in Pittsburgh, but also Justin Simmons is someone they do not want to lose, and I think they're going to lose him too.
Yeah, certainly sounds that way.
And it sounds like the Titans have interest in him.
Yeah, well, the Titans are in the mix for a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But, this time of year drives me nuts because I don't know what's real and what's fake.
Yeah.
And I don't know how in the mix, when they say a team is in the mix, what does that really mean? And the Titans are even a bigger wild card than usual because there's a brand new general manager, essentially, even though not really. It's the second year, but he effectively might as well be brand new general manager, one that's fully in control anyway now, and a brand new head coach with a brand new philosophy. So, I knew last year the Titans were not going to be interested in Calvin Ridley because Calvin Ridley is not the kind of player the Titans normally sign based on his size and other things that this year I don't know. We don't know. We don't know what this team is thinking in that building. There is new thoughts moving around in that building over there in Metro Center, so I have no idea where the Titans are going. We have no frame of reference. This year will be very important for those of us covering the team moving forward because this year will be the first year of a frame of reference for the football team. Next year we'll have a much better idea of the kind of moves they could make because we'll have a much better, much clearer picture of the identity of the team because right now we don't know.
There are only two teams that have not, and I get it, nothing, again, is official, but all this news is out there, okay? It's just, there may be a couple of numbers we're going to look at and say, oh, it was off by 5 minutes. But all these deals are going to happen in about 45 minutes. It's going to be official. But there's two teams that have not inked an outside free agent. Can you name those two teams?
Have not inked an outside free agent.
In other words, someone that's not their own.
I think the Dallas Cowboys.
That is one.
Outside free
Stay
agent.
in the NFC.
Stay in the NFC. See, the Dallas Cowboys, I haven't heard of Detroit signing anybody.
You know what? You're right, but they have.
They have signed somebody. Okay, then the Vikings, are they the other one then?
Mm-mm. No, the Vikings signed Sam Darnold.
That's right. The Vikings, well, yeah.
And they also signed Aaron Jones.
Okay, so no, not them. No, the Commanders signed somebody. The Eagles signed somebody. The Giants signed somebody. Searching around, the Packers have signed somebody.
Mike Evans. Baker Mayfield.
So the Bucs haven't signed anyone, huh?
They've lost a bunch.
Okay,
guys.
They kept
their
a bunch of guys. Main core of the people that they wanted to keep.
But they lost some guys at the Bucs and the Cowboys.
Okay.
Have not brought in an outside free agent.
Well, the Cowboys have cap issues.
They do.
So they would need to restructure some guys to free up some money to do some stuff. And, I was...
Dak.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
And they're going to eventually have to pay Micah. So they got some cap gymnastics.
I was listening to some coverage of them because I was trying to get some insight on Tony Pollard is the reason why I was listening, which I did not get that. But instead what I got was a lot of problems they're having as far as manipulating the cap and why they're not making moves right now. And, it could be that they're saving money to try and keep the players that they've got and trying to keep their core intact versus trying to bring players in from the outside is the sense I got from the people I was listening to down there. So,
Dak is set to make what, 50, 60 million this year?
And it's in his last year.
It's in his last year.
Yeah.
Right.
And the people I was listening to was rather upset that he's back at the negotiating table so quickly. And, kudos to his agent he signed a medium deal, not a long-term deal.
So was it 4 years?
It's like a 4-year deal.
$200 million.
And so now he's back and can get more now.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of signing that really big 6-year deal worth, $300 million, now he signed a 4-year deal worth $200 million, can come back and get another $200 million, potentially.
Yeah.
If not from the Cowboys, then from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
If Kirk Cousins, again, can get $180 million at age 35, how much can Dak Prescott get from another team somewhere who's hungry for a franchise quarterback? I would say quite a bit. So
there's a promo running on this station where and you've heard me say this. We've talked about it. In fact, I think talked about it yesterday. And in fact, I even teased it on Monday, and we got sidetracked because things just kept hitting.
Yeah.
And so we didn't get to it because this guy is officially set to be released. I don't know if it's been official yet, but I've been tracking it all day.
Yeah.
I've said it is time with having Will Levis. It's time for the Titans to go back and, get that Kerry Collins, Matt Hasselbeck, Neil O'Donnell type. Former starter, more towards the end of his career, good locker room guy, a guy that can help a second-year young quarterback come along.
Yeah.
And if need be, if the quarterback is hurt, or whatever, that he can fill in a spot duty here and there and win them some football games.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like the guy that I was going to mention the other day is who I've identified, because there's been a lot of, believe it or not, backup quarterback signings. I asked Steve Lehman this yesterday. I'm like, what are they going to do about the backup quarterback situation? You had Tyrod Taylor go. You had
Jameis Winston. Yeah.
Mariota.
Yeah.
There's Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of quarterback shuffling.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew is going to be the starter, it looks like, out there in Las Vegas. Almost said Oakland, but out there in Las Vegas.
It's that team. It looks like they're set to release the guy.
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G is the guy that I think the Titans should bring in. That's the guy that should be their backup.
Okay. Here's my only question with Jimmy G. Does Jimmy G play the style of football that Brian Callahan is bringing to the table?
Good question.
And when I think and listen, and again, here's the problem: we don't know, because we haven't really seen it with our own eyes yet. All we can tell is whatever they did in Cincinnati over the last few years, and kind of judge it off of that. But in all honesty, we really don't know what it really is yet, so it's kind of hard to say. But when I think about it, just trying to match the two don't seem to mesh. To me, they don't, but it doesn't mean, that it can't or won't or, I don't know. I seen Jimmy G seems more like a game manager versus the quarterback for the Brian Callahan offense seems to need to drive the team. You can't manage the game. The quarterback seems to need to go win the game, and not just manage it, is the way I see it. And so Jimmy G, I don't think can go win you any games. Can he manage a game? Can he make sure that the trains run on time and everybody lines up correctly and get the playoff before the clock runs out? Yeah, I think he can do that. But is he going to be able to take a team down the field on a consistent basis and be the reason why you win a game by throwing the ball, stretching the field? No, he's not going to do that.
I don't know how many backups there are in the league that fit that mold, though. I mean, because I've heard, you hear this area. What are you going to hear? I should go get Josh Dobbs again. Yeah, no, he's not going to fit that.
No, he don't fit that at all.
He doesn't fit that.
He doesn't fit that at all. The closest guy who honestly does fit that is Jameis Winston, but Jameis is a loaded gun because
for all the good comes all the bad.
You don't know what in the world is going on half the time. So, but he's got the talent, is what I'm saying. He's got the physical arm talent to do the things that I'm talking about.
Do you want Jameis Winston bringing along your second year quarterback? I don't.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't.
Probably not. But
I'm looking more. Look, one, what you're bringing up is good points, but I'm not really looking. And I know you can't look at it this way, but I'm looking at it going, I hope we never see you on the field. This is more about what you can do in the rooms, on the practice field, behind the scenes. All right. Well, yeah. In film study. He's done it, right? He's been a backup. He's been a starter. I mean, he's been there. He's done it all.
Yeah.
Okay. He's been behind Tom Brady.
Sure.
He's been around Colin. I mean, look, San Francisco, Patriots, Raiders. I mean, he's been in different rooms with different people.
Absolutely.
So, the guy should have a wealth of knowledge. I think for me, you're right. Jameis probably would. I'm looking at it more of somebody who can help Will Levis come along. I don't think Jameis Winston's that guy.
No, not the mentor type. Not exactly. It doesn't seem.
But that's what I think guys like Neil O'Donnell, Kerry Collins, Matt Hasselbeck, and unfortunately the guys that they were bringing along just ended up not being good enough. So they couldn't really help them because they just weren't good enough.
The guy you're describing sounds a lot like the guy who was just here.
Steve obviously was fine, but Kerry with Vince and Matt Hasselbeck was with Jake Locker.
The problem is Matt Hasselbeck was actually better than Jake Locker.
Right.
That was the
you
problem.
Don't want
with that.
No, you don't want that
because that was the problem.
Yeah.
With that situation, but we could talk about more on the other side here. There's a lot to get to.
Yeah, there is. We're wide open this first hour if you want to get involved in the show. Lots going on. 615-844-5600. Predators are in Winnipeg to take on the Jets. SEC men's basketball tournament gets cranked up. Nashville SC and Inter Miami going to do it again down in South Florida. There's a ton going on. This is a fun time of year. Also, the guys the crew on Get Up spoke about Derrick Henry to the Ravens. We'll hear what they had to say as well. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. We're live here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. More of the McFarland Show coming up next here on WNSR.
When was the last time you did something fun with family, friends, coworkers, and clients? What if I told you about a place under one roof that offers affordable entertainment for all ages? That's what you'll find at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers in Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, Hendersonville, and Murfreesboro with bowling, games, food, drink, and entertainment for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. All locations are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Visit online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
A friend of mine just bought a new house for the first time. A new house. I mean, my wife and I'd love to own a house. So I asked him how he did it. And he smiled and he said he went to the knowledge tree. He had this happy look on his face. So I told him to tell me more. And he said, John, the lack of knowledge will keep you poor. Then he handed me a brochure. It was from Knowledge Tree Mortgage. Now I understood. And after one phone call, I understood even more. Knowledge Tree Mortgage specializes in first-time homebuyers. Folks like me who get the runaround from banks, and he got us pre-qualified. Knowledge Tree Mortgage got us our mortgage. And tomorrow, my wife and I are going to become first-time homebuyers. Here's the number, 859-9599. 859-9599. Money doesn't grow on trees. Knowledge does. Knowledge Tree Mortgage, 859-9599. 859-9599.
And now, Comstock & Sons Construction is reminding Americans to show support to the brave men and women who serve our U.S. military. Please visit DAV.org and consider donating to the disabled U.S. veterans who need our help. This message is brought to you by Comstock & Sons Construction. For all your residential remodeling needs, give the pros a call today and ask about their military and senior discounts. 931-703-5623. 931-703-5623. That's Comstock & Sons Construction. They're professionals who care.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
We were here when Eddie George left. We were here when Chris Johnson left. They had to move on too. And Derrick Henry is doing the same. These guys cannot stay forever. That's just the deal.
That's just what it is.
It's just what
Derrick
it is.
Henry made it to 30, and most people are ready to put 30-year-old running backs out to pasture.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Beautiful day here on this Wednesday, Middle Tennessee. Darren and Justin here with you live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. You can also watch the show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and interact with the show on our YouTube page. Just type in WNSR Live, one word, and you can say whatever you want. I mean,
not whatever you want.
I mean, within reason.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Let's keep it calm out there.
You know what I mean.
Yes,
come on.
Please.
Let's try to keep it clean. Let's keep it sensible.
Please.
DJ Damon is alongside. If he doesn't like what you put on YouTube, he will jump right in there and start singing to you. So if you don't want him to sing, don't put anything silly on there on the YouTube page. Okay, we talked about Get Up. Yesterday, the news that we discussed was, another superstar leaving here and signing with the Baltimore Ravens. We know it all too well, whether it was Steve McNair, whether it was Derek Mason, whether it was Samari Rolle. Am I forgetting anybody? I know there's probably more.
Yeah.
And now Derrick Henry. And I was trying to think of big names.
Yeah, the big ones. Yeah, you got the big ones.
And they were talking about it this morning on Get Up. So I know Ryan Clark is the one who I think is going to...
He does most of the talking.
He's going to be doing most of the talking.
Mike Greenberg gets us started, and then Ryan Clark takes over.
So here's what they had to say about Derrick Henry to the Ravens.
So I got to say, when I saw that, I thought to myself, wow, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the same backfield, that could be about as dynamic as anything we've ever seen. What was your first thought?
Yeah, I mean, I think... When is the last time we ever came to work and Kimberly Martin was telling us, oh my goodness, the Ravens can't run the football. Now, we've heard the Ravens won't run the football.
They didn't.
The Ravens didn't run the football. But we've never had an issue with Derrick Henry having to add to a Ravens run game that has not been explosive, that has not been dynamic, that has not been
Stop
physical.
doing this to Josh Norman.
They've never
Stop
had anyone who
it. Stop
could do
it.
that.
Josh Norman is
They've never had anyone who could do that.
But you've also never seen people just run up on Gus Edwards willy-nilly, right? And so we're looking at a guy like Derrick Henry replacing Gus Edwards, and you're thinking about more so the aura of Derrick Henry than what he's actually going to add to a run game that was already number one in the entire NFL. Will you be scared? May you take dives sometimes instead of taking quarterback? Yes, you're going to have to make those decisions schematically, but this doesn't change the fate of the Baltimore Ravens. What changes the fate of the Baltimore Ravens is Lamar Jackson in that pass game being proficient and efficient in the playoffs, in the critical football moments. It's a coach understanding that we got here by running the football. There's nothing to prove because Patrick Mahomes is on the other side of the field, and that was Todd Monken as an offensive coordinator. I'm excited to see what this run game will look like from a physical standpoint, but this doesn't change the fact that Kansas City is the team to beat, and Vegas still has it right.
To Ryan Clark's point, before the Derrick Henry signing, the odds, according to ESPN Bet, to win the whole thing was 9-1.
9-1.
To win the AFC, plus 450. To win the division, plus 110.
Okay.
Then the news comes out that they're going to sign Derrick Henry to a 2-year deal. According to ESPN Bet, the odds then to win the whole thing with Derrick Henry, 9-1. Oh. To win the AFC, plus 450.
Oh, man.
And to win the division, plus 110. Oh.
Wow.
It didn't change at all.
At all.
At all.
At all.
It didn't move 3 categories.
Yeah.
It didn't change one bit.
Yeah.
You know the signing of Derrick Henry.
You know why it didn't change? Because it's not 1998 anymore.
Yeah.
That's why it didn't change. And it's unfortunate. We've talked about this multiple times, but it's worth talking about again. Why not? It's Derrick Henry is a running back supreme, and I want to check myself. I didn't go far enough to appreciate Derrick Henry yesterday before I jumped right in with with all the analysis. Derrick Henry has been phenomenal, and I just want to add my voice to the choir of running backs who have graced this field over there at Nissan Stadium. He's been incredible. Maybe some say the best ever. It's him or Eddie George, one or the other. I mean, they were spectacular. And if you want to say it was really him, because let's be fair, Eddie did a lot of what he did down in Houston, his rookie year, his second year, his third year, when he was really, really good.
Derrick Henry wasn't even playing.
Yeah, it was something else. So I mean, he has been nothing short of incredible for this franchise and the face of this franchise, and literally carried this franchise for multiple years. However, this league is not built for bell cow runners anymore. There was a day. That day is gone.
There were decades.
Those decades are gone, unfortunately. And I've said it, Darren, and I mean this with everything. If I know anything about football, I know this. These Titans teams under Mike Vrabel that we saw over the last couple of years, the 19 team, the 20 team, if you transport those teams back in time in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, I believe that those teams not only win one Super Bowl, they probably win two. With the caliber of running back that Derrick Henry is, they may have won two Super Bowls. Maybe not back-to-back, but, 2 in 4 years, 2 in 3 years. They were that good. They were that dominant of a running attack. But it doesn't matter now as much. So you can take somebody like Derrick Henry, who rushed for 1,100 yards last year, who has gone for 9,500 yards in his career, and you could put him on a team that went to the AFC Championship game last year, and it doesn't move the needle. Because the running game, unfortunately, with a bell cow runner is not priority. It is not glorified. It is not valued.
Since 2018, this is 2024. Since 2018, so this is spanning 5 seasons, okay? Most scrimmage yards per game in the NFL for running backs. I've got the top 5. Most scrimmage yards per game.
Okay. Shoot.
We'll start at 5. Saquon Barkley, 98.8.
Nice.
Okay, so just under 100 yards. 4th, Alvin Kamara, 99.9. Third, Jonathan Taylor, 104.5.
All right.
Then Derrick Henry at 2nd, 107.4. Number 1?
McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey, 125.6. That's the top 5 running backs. Most scrimmage yards per game in the last 5 years. And how many of those top 5 running backs have made an appearance in the Super Bowl?
1, McCaffrey.
And that was this year.
Yeah.
And we know the answer is how many have won? None.
As a matter of fact, if you add up playoff wins, there may be about 4 or 5 playoff wins between those 5 over the last 5 years. Derrick Henry's got 2.
Barkley has 1.
And McCaffrey's got the rest.
Jonathan Taylor doesn't have any, does he?
No, with the Colts, I don't think the Colts haven't won a playoff game. I remember.
He's got some wins.
Not in the last 5 years. In the last 5 years?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean,
maybe not in the last 3 years, but maybe 4 and 5 years ago.
Maybe on the tail end of Drew Brees.
Wasn't that when they were having those crazy losses in the NFC Championship game?
I thought that was a little further back. Wasn't that like 17?
Well, one was to the Rams when the Rams just won it. That was with Stafford.
All right. Okay, so maybe it was sooner than that.
Right? The pass interference that didn't get called.
That wasn't golf? That was Stafford?
Maybe. Maybe it was.
I think it was Jared Goff.
Okay, maybe you're right.
I think it's a little further back than you might be thinking there. Be that as it may, regardless, that's beside the point. What is the point here is, unfortunately, and Darren and I went through it one day. We sat here and opened the books and went through it, and we talked about the likes of Terrell Davis and Jamal Anderson and Emmitt Smith, the first year that Darren and I started covering football in this town together in 1998, the names on top of that list. And not only were the names on top of that list the rushing leaders, those teams were super successful. It wasn't just like, oh, here are your rushing kings. No, the rushing kings were leading teams to the Super Bowl. Jamal Anderson, the year he had where you think he went for 1,800 yards, the Falcons went to the Super Bowl that year. You know, Terrell Davis, he went for 2K. The Broncos won the Super Bowl. You know, Emmitt Smith won rushing titles and won the Super Bowl. You know, the only person that didn't get it was Barry Sanders, you know, because he had a curse of a whole different type. But everybody else, if you won these rushing titles, you normally did pretty well. And now we have just moved in a total polar opposite direction. Christian McCaffrey is the exception now, not the rule. In the previous years, I remember one of these years that Marshall Faulk, one of these years that Derrick Henry won the rushing title, or was in the top 3 anyway. It was him, Josh Jacobs, and I'm missing one. But the top 3 guys didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, that was just what?
What? That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
The top 3 rushers in the NFL didn't even make the play. Were on teams that didn't even go to playoffs.
Chubb. I think it was Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Chubb, Jacobs, and
Derrick Henry. Didn't even go to playoffs. That didn't even make any sense. It used to be if Derrick Henry rushed for 100 yards, you were guaranteed to win the game. Remember that record? It was something like 30-1.
Mm-hmm.
And we know it works because when Eddie George was here doing his thing, Eddie George had very similar records. If Eddie George went for over 100 yards, the Titans were like 28-2 or something ridiculous. You know, because it was, if you dominate the line of scrimmage running the football, you run the ball, stop the run, you won the game. That was the rules. The rules have changed. And that's why, you know, it's questionable what the Ravens are doing. And listen, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I've said it here yesterday. The Ravens have got to find a way to make these 2 dynamic players they've got, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, work in harmony with each other's games. And I don't know how they're going to do it because Derrick Henry needs touches. He needs the ball. How do you make Derrick Henry successful with 10 touches a game?
It's hard.
If they can figure it out, do it. And if you feed him the ball 20, 25 times a game with a 2-time NFL MVP on your roster,
you're giving the ball away. You're taking the ball away from him. Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do. So, you know, listen, they know more about football than I do. I don't know. I'm sure they got something. I'm sure they thought of something before they spent, you know, $16 million over 2 years. I'm sure they thought, well, this is how it's going to work. I'm sure they have a plan.
Well, clearly they've had a fascination for Derrick Henry going back to the trade deadline last year.
Yeah, they think that they can do something.
They tried to pull the, you know, trigger on a trade, and I suspect Mike Vrabel's the one. That's the reason it didn't happen.
Probably so.
Mike Vrabel was like, no.
But maybe they've got a formula that you and I haven't thought of or haven't seen or something that is going to make this work in a way that's worth the while. That, you know, that's worth the money, that's worth the attention. Maybe they think he's going to draw more people into the box and open up the passing game, or I don't know. Decoy, I don't know. But, you know, it's got to be different than what we've seen out of Derrick Henry here over the 8 years. That has been spectacular. I want to emphasize that. It has been spectacular. But he needs the ball. Yep. If he don't get the ball, it's not going to work.
I'd say probably the sweet spot will be 15 a game.
Well, based on
carries.
Based on what we've seen, Derrick Henry with 15 carries a game is going to get you between 40 and 50 yards, based on what we've seen. Now, if you want him to do more than that, then you're going to have to give him. But if you're expecting to get 120, 150 yard 2-touchdown Derrick Henry, then you're going to have to give him the ball more than 15 times.
Mm-hmm. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. Take a quick break. We'll come back. Forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders will join us to kick off the second hour of the program. So that's coming up at 3 o'clock. More of the McFarland Show here on WNSR. buyandtow.com. Get cash for junk cars. Do you have a vehicle that's become a problem? You can get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. They'll buy your vehicle no matter the condition, in your driveway, at your mechanic shop, or even on the side of the road. You can call them at 615-480-6473 or visit buyandtow.com. Get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. 615-480-6473, buyandtow.com. That's buyandtow.com.
Your brain is an amazing thing. But as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. A Pharmacy Times National Survey of Pharmacists rated Prevagen the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand for the 5th year in a row. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere without a prescription. Help your memory. Try Prevagen today. Prevagen. Healthier brain, better life. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-617-0239. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-617-0239. That's 800-617-0239. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's JB and the General.
I am in no means a chiseled god. I don't have a six-pack. I'm not looking like The Rock out here. But goodness gracious, George Niang legitimately has a beer belly out on the floor right now.
Yeah, but so does Jokic. He's the best player in the world.
Well, George Niang is clanking them off the backboard.
Weekdays 9 to 11, live on WNSR.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive national sports radio, WNSR Skyscan forecast. Today's going to be mostly cloudy, widespread showers, a high temperature around 70. Cloud showers, maybe a thunderstorm tonight, the low 52. Saturday, cloudy, showers likely, perhaps a thunderstorm, high 62. Sunny Sunday, high 56. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
A lot of hoops today. Wake Forest ACC tournament leading 40-34 as they head to the half. Steve Forbes, like him. He's a good coach. Pac-12, their last ever tournament. Washington trailing USC 32-28 with about 4.5 minutes to go in the first. And in the Big 12, right now it's all TCU as TCU leads Oklahoma. It'll be Oklahoma's last time ever in the Big 12 tournament because Oklahoma and Texas will be here next year.
Yes.
Which, how will the format go with 16 teams? Have they revealed that yet?
I haven't seen that. But, are they going to continue on with everybody gets to go?
Great question.
Or are they just going to give, a couple of teams less of a bye week? Will only 2 teams get a bye week? Or maybe an extra couple of teams will get a bye week? I don't know.
Me personally, if you're asking me what would I do, I would have the bottom 4 teams. You're out.
You're not coming. You're not coming. Now, are you missing out on revenue when you do that? Like, is it a revenue thing? Is it a money thing?
You look tonight. You tell me if they're missing out on revenue.
Well, I don't know, because are you still doing revenue sharing among all 16 teams? So in other words, if you have a tournament and the bottom 4 teams don't go, are you still required to share money with the 4 teams who didn't go from the tournament? And if so, you might as well have them then.
Well, yeah, because, only 2 teams go to the football championship, but they all split it. They all share.
Well, we all know
shared.
football is
wink, wink.
A different monster. Like, you can't have a 16-team football tournament or a 14-team football tournament. So,
right.
But you can do it this way, though. So
I don't know. I just said me, but I didn't say that they're going to do that. I just said me personally. If you're again, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I'm not trying to stomp on somebody while they're down. But does Missouri deserve to play tonight? No, they don't. You don't deserve to play.
Does Missouri deserve to play?
They
don't even deserve to play, Darren.
These 4 teams tonight.
They can't even play.
Would the tournament? Would we could be like, man, this tournament's gonna be awesome? But I'm a little disappointed they don't have Missouri and Georgia and Arkansas and Vanderbilt in this thing. Now Vanderbilt, because they're in our backyard, but realistically, I don't think they're winning tonight. Do you?
Well, no.
I don't think they're beating Arkansas.
Doesn't seem like they would, but they've pulled some upsets already this year, so it's possible.
You're right.
But do you really? I'm just asking. Do you really want to be in the business of trying to earn your way into the SEC tournament? Which that's. I'm just saying it out loud. Sounds kind of like. Well, who do you think you are that we're trying to earn your way into the SEC tournament? Because it's not like when's the last time, and it's been a little while, but when's the last time the winner of this tournament who gets the automatic bid, right? The winner of this tournament gets the automatic bid. When's the last time the winner of this tournament probably wasn't going to go unless they won the tournament? The actual winner.
Doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't happen very often. So what's the incentive then? These teams go because Vanderbilt will play with some umph, I would think.
We have seen magical runs.
Sure. So and that's because
in fact, Georgia did it. The tornado.
Yes.
Year.
Well, that's because they know unless we win, it's literally end of season here.
Yeah.
There's no NIT for us. There's nothing for us. Tonight could be, and this is something we haven't said. Could tonight be Jerry Stackhouse's last game, literally, because there's nothing after this for Vanderbilt.
Mm-mm.
If they lose tonight, that's season over.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine they'll play with some intensity tonight, and I think there is something to have those kinds of scenarios. Now, how much is it worth? Do you really need to have all the team? I don't. That is questionable.
I don't believe they will, because we know what today is about. Today's athletics is all about the money.
Yeah.
So everything. They're going from 2 to then we recently just went to 4 to 12 and then 14.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
So we know it's about money.
Yeah.
Money. And I know that's on the football side of things.
So what you're saying is they'll add some at-large teams next year.
But, you add Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah.
Look at today. We got all these TVs here in the studio, Striker Spare Family Fun Center studio.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of people who care about watching Wake Forest today.
No.
And
Wake Forest and Notre Dame. Yeah.
But guess what? We're watching it.
It's on.
It's on.
It is on.
I guess I should put it that way. It's on.
It is on.
I don't know how much we're watching it.
Not much.
But it's on.
I saw Wake Forest was up big last time I looked up there.
Well, they're up 6 at the half. And
6. Just 6. Okay.
Yeah, and so, they
were up more than that.
We got games on, and,
Okay.
But, again, would today be a void if we didn't have these games on? No.
Listen, there's more games to bet on, things like that.
Again, that's
that's the
right.
other thing. Somebody's going to take some money and
of
look.
Course.
And, the handicappers out there and say, hey, what about this? We got some we got Arkansas against Vanderbilt coming up tonight. What's the action on that?
And somebody
from somewhere who's never seen either one of these teams play at all will just take a look and go, put a couple of dollars down on whatever.
Oh, well, SEC fans will. Again,
that's
if it's
true.
there, you're right. The whole gambling part of it. In fact, by the way, I had a listener reach out to me on Twitter the other day.
Yeah.
When Michigan called in and said, this is his time of year to make money.
Yeah.
They said they've put a little little fund off to the side for when Michigan calls in with his selections.
They're waiting for Michigan.
Michigan's selections.
Listen, Michigan did some damage last year. Apparently,
yeah, he did.
At least I don't know what kind of money he put down, but the things he said on the air happened quite a bit. So, I'll be listening with bated breath. I don't have much skin in the game, but I'm listening.
I may have a pen in my hand, maybe.
I'm listening. And Michigan's talking. I'm listening. Let's see what happens.
So I don't think, even with 16 teams, and the Big Ten will have 16 teams, these conferences are all going to 16. I don't think they're going to get rid of, I don't think they're going to have teams, the bottom feeders say you're out of the tournament. They'll probably still just, make them available, and everybody will play, and we'll have these first nights where you look at Bridgestone tonight. It's going to be, hello, oh. Time out! You can hear Jerry Stackles. Time out! You can hear that. You'll be able to hear it on SEC Network. Time out. And there's not going to be anybody there.
Well, it's also a Wednesday night.
Wait till Georgia, Missouri. They may have to,
You mean Jerry Stackhouse not's going to come like he did last year? We're Vanderbilt. Y'all give us some love. Show some.
That was actually a pretty epic moment.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah. On the SEC Network on the stage?
They had something on the line last year.
Yeah, they did. They were trying to get into the tournament.
And probably should have gotten it, but that's a whole other thing. But,
he was making his case.
Yeah, he was making his case, which a lot of coaches do that time of the year.
He was what
they were doing. Sure.
Basically, it's like, y'all picked against us.
Yeah.
Keep picking against us.
Yeah.
But Georgia, Missouri, you'll be able to hear everything tonight. Hey, run two. Zone up, D up. You're going to hear that tonight.
Wow. So you're saying there's more people at the Disney on Ice in the Bridgestone Arena typically than tonight's
SEC. I've been to Disney on Ice. Don't be knocking Disney.
I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying there's really more people.
Anybody want popcorn, hot dogs?
I don't think they don't have vendors.
They don't have that.
I was about to say they don't. What you talking about? This is the minor league baseball game.
It's gonna be that empty.
When's the last time you went to Bridgestone and you had vendors?
It was a long time.
They do vendors.
Popcorn.
Oh, that's
I was thinking about that. I was like, they make you get up. You gotta get up and go get it.
You gotta work for it.
Yeah, they don't just give it to you.
Yeah. Vendors.
That's nice though.
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy.
Go ahead and get your beer while it's near.
If it's that less of a people in there, they may need to come down and do it like that.
Well, right, because you know where everybody is.
Right.
Hey, just let me know when you need me to come back.
Yeah. There you go. You can do DoorDash right there.
You can talk to them.
Just seat dash.
I'll be up top looking at you guys. Just give me a signal.
Give me where I'll come right on up.
All right, we'll take our final break for the first hour, come back and wrap it up. And we'll have Chris Sanders at 3 o'clock. You're listening to the McFarland Show, WNSR.
Hi, I'm Jeff Fisher. Guess what? The Cats are back. The Nashville Cats will be returning to the Municipal Auditorium on April 27th in the season opener against the Minnesota Myth. There will be 5 total games played at Municipal Auditorium, with 1 additional game played up in Clarksville at F&M Bank Arena on Armed Forces Day on Saturday, May 18th. For player or dance team tryouts or tickets, log on to thenashvillecats.com.
Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is at the heart of Music City, located within walking distance of the Country Music Hall of Fame. Bar Lines at the Omni is your downtown honky-tonk destination. Watch your team from any seat on their plentiful HD TVs and catch a live show on the Bar Lines stage featuring live music 7 days a week. Bar Lines has the ultimate Southern comfort food. Get started with classic fried green tomatoes or bourbon barbecue wings. Then it's on to the massive Smashville double stack or the world famous Bar Lines grinder. Oh, you've never heard of the Bar Lines grinder? 2 kinds of cheese, lettuce, Dijon, smoked turkey, smoked bacon, smoked ham. Now that's some smoke you want. Local brews and local spirits are on tap at Bar Lines. Take a seat on the patio outside and soak up the rhythm of Music City. Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. The package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. Visit starleasing.com to learn more.
Memphis, get loud for your Memphis Grizzlies when they face off against the Oklahoma City Thunder this Saturday on Wrestling Night. Arrive early. First 5,000 will receive a Grizzlies luchador mask. Get hyped. Get ready for an epic matchup and secure your tickets today by visiting Grizzlies.com. Grizz Nation, take your fandom to the next level by downloading the all-new official Memphis Grizzlies mobile app to buy or access your tickets and personalize your experience.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Louisville men's basketball program has told Kenny Payne they will not be bringing him back for a third season. So after 2 years, it was pretty bad. 12-52 for Kenny Payne at Louisville. So they will be in the market for a new basketball coach. That's a program that's rich in history.
It is.
In hoops.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done a whole lot of winning over decades, and it's been pretty lean here for a while.
Lean is being nice.
Yeah.
It's been bad. It's been real bad.
Yeah, especially to their standards.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
been really, really down.
Yeah.
Last 5 years in particular.
Who would think football would be the number one sport at that school?
Yeah. Well, it's not, but
as of late,
right, when it's like this,
yeah,
you know,
that's what it's been there for the last few years. It's kind of sad to see. Louisville is a very proud basketball tradition in a city that loves its basketball.
Mm-hmm.
They love Louisville hoops up there, love it. The Cardinals are massive in that town, but there hasn't been a whole lot to cheer about. There at the the Pepsi Center or whatever it is there in the Yum Center. The Yum Center there, which it's unique to see that thing driving through town. The Yum Center. There hasn't been a whole lot there at the Yum Center to cheer about as of late. So hopefully they can find a guy to turn it around because it hasn't been it at all.
It's like the Jets and the Ravens made a trade today, or it'll be official. Everything's going to be official here in about a minute and a half.
The flurry.
They have traded a right tackle, Morgan Moses. The Jets are getting from the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
They're also Jets are sending a 4th-round pick and a 6th-rounder to the Ravens in exchange for Moses and a 4th-rounder back in return.
And there's your report there. Jimmy G set to be cut by the Raiders.
Yep.
Coming up here in a few.
That's who I think the Titans should be talking to.
It's going to be interesting.
As the backup. All right, we'll come back. Forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders. It's always fun, entertaining, interesting. He's going to kick off the second hour of the McFarland Show, and he's going to do that next here on WNSR.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR. ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. pushing to get aid into Gaza and calling on Israel to boost ground routes to help provide food for Palestinians desperate after 5 months of war. Secretary of State Antony Blinken at today's briefing.
The President's been very clear. This has to be a priority. And it has to be a priority for Israel. It's the right thing to do.
Blinken says the floating pier being built off Gaza's coast will be ready in the coming weeks. U.S. Marines deploying to Haiti to secure the U.S. embassy there due to a surge in gang violence. The unrest has led to the prime minister's resignation. And after closing arguments in the involuntary manslaughter trial of James Crumbley, the father of the Oxford high school shooter in Michigan, the jury is now deliberating the case. A bill to limit or ban popular social media app TikTok cleared a hurdle in the House. Lawmakers are concerned that the China-backed company poses a national security threat. That bill now heads to the Senate. This is ABC News.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
NSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Bob's Steak and Chop House, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, is a nationally renowned steakhouse specializing in the finest corn-fed Midwestern prime beef. The menu formula is simple. Incredible meat, gigantic shrimp, fabulous salads, and decadent desserts. Start your experience at Bob's with the fried calamari or fresh scallops seared in Texas burnt honey. All the beef at Bob's Steak and Chop House are USDA prime cut. From the traditional filet of tenderloin and ribeye to the adventurous Kansas City bone-in strip. They even have 2 different surf and turf options. And if you're looking for the other white meat, Bob's Steak and Chop House serves a dry-aged pork tomahawk with homemade applesauce. Fresh seafood is on the menu, from salmon to scampi, and even fresh lobster tail. For reservations, give them a call or log on to the Omni Nashville Hotel website. Bob's Steak and Chop House at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Oh, righty there.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour of the McFarland Show here on this Wednesday afternoon. Beautiful day outside here in Middle Tennessee. Darren and Justin live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. DJ Damon is alongside. By the way, you can also watch this fine program as well as listen on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And if you type in WNSR Live in the search tab on YouTube, you can interact with us. Our phone number and our text line is 615-844-5600. Speaking of that, let's go to the phone line. Forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders is on the line.
How y'all doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm good, man. It just tickles me every time we hear DJ Damon.
You do get tickled with that, don't you?
I do, because it sounds like he's like in his 90s and he's like gum and oatmeal trying to be on the ones and twos.
And your point is?
Wow. Right. That sounds like it too.
I said, and your point is?
Yes?
No.
How y'all doing, man? Y'all doing well? I'm just joking. How y'all doing?
Are you on spring break?
I am. I just came back from Las Vegas, and I'm still mad because my wife, she listened to me now. I love you, baby. But we spent a lot of money.
Oh, what were you in Vegas? What, shotgun wedding? What's going on?
No. We played the slot machines. We just kind of just took like a little break and just kind of just had some fun. And, next thing you know, my billfold was empty. And so I'm kind of sad right now.
That's usually when it's time to...
The $2 that I had that I was going to, save for Wendy's to get a biggie bag, it was gone.
So you're going to be hungry this week.
Man, I'm going to have to scrounge up like 25 cents and get, some penny candy from the store.
Get some ramen. Well, 42 cents, get you some ramen. There you go.
You saw those chandeliers out there. You saw where the Raiders play. Look, they're not building those things because everybody's kicking their butt.
Man, have you ever been to Las Vegas?
I've been to Las Vegas. I haven't been there since they have their new structures out there.
Oh, man, it's crazy, man. I mean, it's people everywhere. I like to people watch. I mean, I saw, like 3 people with like unibrows, and I was like, man, I've never been in a place where 3 people had unibrows. That's why I was so excited to see. It was an amazing time.
Okay. Well, thank you. I did not. Never heard people describe Vegas.
Wow.
And went straight to unibrows.
Wow.
Exciting part of the whole
all the things.
I'm just kidding.
You lived former teammates going to the hated rival in Baltimore.
Oh, my God.
So when you got wind that Derrick Henry was signing with the Ravens, your initial thoughts were?
I mean, they already got a lot of talent. I mean, Lamar Jackson, they got a nasty defense. But here's the thing that's really, really scary. I mean, there's a lot of teams that want to throw the ball and, spread it out and this and that. I think Harbaugh is going old school. And when I say old school, they're going 21 personnel. That's 2 back, 1 tight end, and 2 wide receivers. And the reason why I bring up that point is look at how big their fullback is. Name a lot of teams that have a fullback. Not too many teams are running fullbacks. They got a fullback named Patrick Ricard. He's 6'3", 305. So just imagine the Ravens with a huge offensive line with Stanley, with Daniel, with guys like that are over 307 pounds. And then you add a Derrick Henry that's 260, and they're running straight down your lips. What are you going to do when it gets in December and also when it's in the playoffs? That is a scary sight. That's why I say, because it could be something dangerous.
Why do you think they abandoned the run, though, in the playoffs? They totally went away from the run.
I don't know, and that's what I was wondering, because that's funny that you say that, because if you look at that game, Jackson dropped back 82% of the time when your bread and butter was running the football. Yep. Run the football. That's what got you there. Don't just drop back 82% of the time and prove that Lamar Jackson is a not just a running quarterback. Run the football, control, the time of possession, and the Kansas City Chiefs wouldn't have a chance.
So safeties have been. It's interesting. The league has been basically shoving the running back position down, as you know, Chris, over the years. But look what was the most active. What's been the most active position this week? I mean, the running backs have been swapping teams like every hour. But you know what? You know what position is also in now the running back territory, as in their price tags are going down. If you play this position, you're just not going to get the money you've been accustomed to over the years. The safety. No, the safety.
Yeah,
So there's safeties galore out there, by the way. So
it is. I mean, look at the situation with Byard.
Right. Yeah, well, Byard, right. That's what I'm saying. He's like one of the last ones to really cash in on the safety position. Now, here's my thoughts on why this is happening, and I want to get your take, because you're a former wide receiver, and I feel like when you played, I'm trying to think, okay, off the top of my head, Troy Polamalu, we all know the big hitting safeties were more, to me, I thought in your day, more about lighting you up if you came across the middle, right?
Man,
safeties that would just sit back and light your world up. Well, they can't do that anymore. So the safeties cannot strike fear in receivers anymore because the league doesn't allow them, or they're going to get penalized or kicked out of the game or what have you. So now they're kind of sitting back in these shell coverages, and so the league is going, you're just not as important as you used to be, so we're not going to pay you like we used to. Do you buy that?
I mean, it's wild because if you look at a lot of the safeties, you're right. Back in the day, like Harrison from the San Diego Chargers, he would tattoo you and hit you square in the mouth.
Harrison, yep.
Right. Oh, mean. I practiced with him when we was up in Houston Oilers. I mean, he is intense. He'll hit you in practice. He'll hit you in 7-on-7. But I think the league now is, even though you can't hit the wide receiver, you can't really have those vicious hits anymore. They're getting more athletic, safeties. Look at the situation with Byard. Why is Byard? When he went to Philadelphia and then he went to a different team. Now, look at Reed from the Baltimore Ravens. What made him special? He wasn't known from hitting somebody in the mouth. He was an athletic safety. He was a guy that covered ground, and he was really, really fast. I mean, look at the situation with the Baltimore Ravens. I can't remember the safety.
But they had the linebackers though, Chris, that would strike fear in you, right? If you went over the middle.
Oh my God! But you just can't do that now because if you hit somebody hard viciously, they think it's a nasty hit. So just the evolution of the game to where you can't really hit anybody. I think that a lot of teams' identity is now having faster and more athletic guys as opposed to having big guys.
Yeah, I mean, well, you played with one, Blaine Bishop. I mean,
Blaine, Lord,
he light people
Blaine
up,
Bishop.
right?
Man, oh my gosh! You remember the safeties from the Cleveland Browns? He passed away, rest his soul. I can't remember his name, but he was a big safety.
Hanford Dixon?
No, Turner.
Turner, okay.
Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Turner?
Eric Turner. Oh, my gosh.
There's a name from the past. Okay.
He was almost 250. 250 is a safety that will tattoo. He wasn't going to play no free safety, but he'll play a core safety, a strong safety, come into the core and stop the run. When you talk about a safety that will strike you and hit you in your mustache, I think a lot of teams are getting away from that because you just can't be as physical.
Jamal Adams was one that was a big physical safety, right?
Remember Chuck Cecil?
Yeah.
Chuck Cecil.
Yeah.
Chuck Cecil.
Chuck Cecil couldn't run a lick. He had the biggest shoulder pads in America, but he couldn't. Me and you can beat him, backpedaling.
Well, that's why he couldn't run. His shoulder pads weighed 35 pounds.
And Steve
He looked like
Atwater.
a truck driver. Was that?
He looked like a truck driver.
He did. I'm like, man, when I first saw him, I'm like, man, this dude right here. But man, when I tell you, he would hit you if you got caught slipping. Oh, you're gonna get kissed in the mouth. I'm gonna tell you that. But he was a great player.
So the moves they've made, and by the way, we're now official. 12 minutes into everything becoming official, and we're going to learn if all this news we've been talking about the last 2 days is all true, and the terms were right. So overall, what we know the Titans have done, how would you grade it out? How do you feel about it?
I will give it maybe a B+, and the reason why I give it a B+ is what they did with the center. I know everybody's talking about Tony Pollard and Kenneth Murray for the linebackers and Awuzie, which are great players. But the reason why I love Cushenberry from the center position is because he just made Will Levis better, and I'm gonna tell you why. If you look, and this is no disrespect. When I say upgrade, I'll never ever disrespect a player and say he's not good or not. But it's an upgrade, and I'm gonna tell you why. If you look at last year with Brewer, if I can remember his stats, he gave up 6 sacks and 34 pressures. He was 6 feet and he was 274. Let me tell you about Cushenberry. They came from the Broncos. He's 6'4", 315, gave up 1 sack and 14 pressures. If I'm Will Levis and I'm looking at that situation, no disrespect to Brewer, but I'm looking at that, okay, now I feel more comfortable as opposed to, I wonder if I'm going to get hit in the mouth. So I think with that position, I think that they upgraded because they made your offensive line better.
We had a guy on from Denver yesterday that covers the Broncos for The Athletic, and he said it's a huge loss for Denver. He couldn't say enough nice things about Cushenberry.
Yeah, he's a mean dude. I mean, he's physical. I mean, look how big he is. If you look at Brewer, he was 6 feet, 274. No disrespect to size. But now you got a mammoth of a dude that's 6'4", 315. I mean, it just made your offensive line better. So I like the pick.
I said C+. So you like B+. You like him even. You like their moves even more. See, you brought up a doozy, or is that how you say his name? Awuzie. Did I just say a doozy?
You did.
That was a doozy, me trying to say Awuzie.
That's something else.
I just think $13 million a year made me a little woozy. I just thought that was a little, I don't know. I like him. I just don't know if I like him that much.
But you know what's concerning, and I know he's a good player. And here's the reason why they brought him in. He brings an attitude. And if you look at the defensive coordinator, he wants to bring a fast and a defense that has an attitude that wants to hit somebody in the mouth. The same thing when they bring in Keith Murray in. But here's the thing that I'm kind of concerned about. If you look at his last year's stats, I'm just going by last year, and I'm trying to remember off my mind. I think he had 42 tackles, but here's the problem. He had 0 interceptions. And if you go back to 2021, I think he had 50-some tackles with 2 interceptions. So if you look at it in the back end and you're playing in the back end, and if the defensive line doesn't get to the quarterback, is he capable of making interceptions? That's the only thing I'm concerned about. I know, he covers well and all that, but we need to see some turnovers. We need to get some guys in the secondary that can make some plays. Not just make some plays and make some good tackles, but we need to get turnovers and get interceptions with your secondary.
All right, Chris. So we are now, as we mentioned, and we've been talking about in the free agency period here. You are a person that has been in a situation that a lot of people have never been in that you've been in an NFL locker room when your team signs a guy who plays your same position.
Oh, my gosh.
And you're like, hey, then isn't that the position I play? So just take me into that mindset, as a lot of guys are going to be signed today. But, and a lot of guys don't know, but they're possibly being replaced today. And that side of the coin.
When I was immature, and I'm going to go back to 1990, and I'm going to share a story with you. I'm watching the draft, and I'm sitting there, kind of just eating my popcorn, getting ready. But then all of a sudden, the sportscasters on there, they said the Tennessee Titans don't have any receivers. And I'm like, I'm over here. So what they did is they drafted Kevin Dyson, and then on top of that, they brought Yancey Thigpen. So I'll never forget, I was sitting down in my basement, heartbroken, because I'm like, man, why would they do this? Why would they do that? But I had to understand that it was a business. So even though they brought Kevin Dyson in and they brought Yancey Thigpen, so instead of me getting bitter, I chose to get better, and this is how I got better. So instead of getting mad at the coaches, instead of getting mad at the general manager, instead of getting mad at that, I said, I'm going to play so well that they're going to have to play me, because now it upped my game. Now it upped my intensity. So even though I was disappointed that they brought Kevin Dyson in, but he was my teammate, not in a bad way, even though I was upset that they brought him in, and then they brought Yancey Thigpen on top of that, I'm sitting here like, man, I did pretty good my rookie season. I did good the second year, but then you bring those two guys in to replace me. So what I had to do is I had to take the emotions out of it. Once I took the emotions out of it, I went to practice, and I said, I'm going to play so well that you're going to have to play me. That's how I handled it.
It's a life lesson, really, in that situation. Yeah, I know it's gotta be because a lot of guys are sitting at home watching and seeing the crawl, and a lot of times it's not like they called you before and say, "Hey, Chris, we're about to draft this guy. Don't worry about it, though. You're good." You find out like everybody else does.
Just watching TV, watching the draft, and then they're actually, I think it was Joe Theismann. I can't remember, but he actually said my name. He said, Chris Sanders, he's an okay receiver, but you need to come. We need some other players to come in there and make plays. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. 1995 made the all-rookie team. Hold on. And I averaged 23.5 yards a catch. Hold on. I had 9 touchdowns that year. Hold on. So now, don't just overshadow that I didn't do anything. But what I had to do as a professional is take the emotions out and say, you know what? This is a business. And I'm telling you, that actually improved my game, because when I went into camp, I had my best preseason. I caught like 4 or 5 touchdowns in the preseason, so they had to play me because I played so well.
All right. Did you have a pro day at Ohio State?
I did.
What is the difference? What is the difference between the pro day? It was fire. What is the difference between the pro day and the combine?
It's totally different, because the thing about it is a lot of coaches, because you have a certain amount of coaches that coach on the field from different teams. But then you have a lot of the general managers, you have a lot of the pro scout guys that are in the stands. When you're at pro day, you can tell, whoever you want to talk to or whoever you want to see do a drill. I want him to do this drill. I want him to run this route. I want him to do that. So you're more hands-on. It's like, I think it was, I don't know what team. It was the Washington Redskins. The drill was almost over. So what he told the quarterback, he said, I want you to throw the ball as far as you can, and I want to see if Chris Sanders is fast enough to go catch it. So Kirk Herbstreit was the quarterback at the time. He threw the ball, and he threw it far as he can, and I ran down there, and I caught the ball. And that's what really had me go from not being unknown to get drafted in the third round, because one of the teams, which is the Houston Oilers, saw and being hands-on and saw that I can make plays. That's why it's so important.
Wow. There's earlier this week, Nick Saban did some talking in Washington. And then the I don't want to say the real reason, but he revealed a lot more about why he decided to leave college football. And I'm sure you've heard some of those comments there. And I know you played clearly in a different era, but people believe the innocence in college football is gone. And Chris, I'm of the opinion that the innocence was never really kind of there to begin with. It was just who was getting the money was the difference. That's what's changed. But we're clearly entering a new era, and I imagine that the coaching style, or at least the old school way of developing players, is going to have to change, and people are just going to have to kind of get with it. Or do you think we should stop and shed a few tears for the way it used to be?
Man, the reason why I miss the way it used to be is because we don't teach kids, or we don't let them develop. When I say develop, is right now, is if you get mad at the offensive coordinator, you get mad at the receiver coach, I could just up and leave. So you're not teaching these kids commitment. You're not teaching these kids to finish what you started. You're just saying, if I don't like you, I can get up out of here. And what are you teaching these kids? You're teaching these kids that if I don't like what's going on, then I have a choice to leave. But now, if just like with Nick Saban if you're coming into my organization, you're coming into my team, and it doesn't go right, but you stick with it and you pan out and develop as a man and develop as a player, and you get drafted, now you become a great football player, but also you become a great man, and that's what the innocence is missing. Look at high school now. High school now, they're like, okay, if you don't give me a good NIL deal, I'll go somewhere else. I mean, what the heck are we doing? Listen. I love coaching. I love coaching the position. I love coaching wide receivers. But the hard part about it is a lot of kids don't come to your school is because you're not giving out the ducats. And I think we're teaching these kids the wrong stuff, and it's awful.
How long have you been in NBA? 15 years?
No, this will be my 19th year.
19 years. So you've obviously seen the players change over almost 2 decades.
I don't think it's just the players. I think it's I'm saying this in a respectful way. It's a lot of the family.
Huh.
You got the mom and you got the dad saying that I want you to go to this college because I want to live my dream through you. So now you got kids that are leaving. You got kids that are leaving because they say, I can get more money here, or I can get a scholarship here, as opposed to saying, I want to bring this kid to your school so you can develop him into a great man, but also a football player. And that's what we're missing, man. I mean, I'm being real respectful when I say this.
Sure.
But sometimes when you coach football, the parents are some of the worst people. And that's what takes the innocence out of it, because you got a kid that actually wants to be a part of an organization, but you want to take them out because you want to make him the next Joe Montana. And I think you let the kid develop into a Joe Montana, opposed to saying, you know what, I'm taking him out because I don't like what you're doing, so I'm gonna go over here. But the same problem that's over here is gonna be the same problem over there.
Yep. So more parents are seeing their children as businesses earlier than ever before. Because you played in the Big Ten, so I know a lot of guys thought themselves to be the next millionaires or whatever playing at Ohio State. But what you're saying is that attitude or feeling has now filtered its way down to high school on a much earlier level now.
It was for the select 5-star, what everybody, right? The big names. Yep. Now it's basically, if you're on somebody's radar, you're probably you're asking for something. True.
Yeah, exactly. But here's I'm gonna give you an illustration of what I was talking about too. I think it was about 2 years ago that there was this kid who was on ESPN or whatever, and the kid picks a Florida hat and he puts it on, and the mom walks off the stage.
Yeah, right.
Saw that.
Yes.
Why does she walk off the stage? It's because she wanted him to go to Alabama, but he said it's a good fit for me in Florida.
Yeah.
So now the mom won't talk to the kid because she wants him to go to Alabama.
And probably had worked a deal, probably.
Yeah, Mom. Yeah. So, Mom, I'm like, Mom, I want to go to Florida, but you want to go to Alabama. I can't take you to Florida. I can't take you to Alabama with me. I'm going to where the best fit is, and I think that, listen, it just breaks my heart, man. It's just awful right now.
Yeah. Chris, always enjoy it, man. Thanks.
Man, I didn't mean to get all sentimental.
No, it's good.
No,
that's what we wanted.
Love you guys.
Hopefully,
you'll
get some more ducats in your wallet soon, man. Build that stack back up.
Oh, appreciate you guys. Love you guys.
All right, Chris. Thank you, man, as always. Forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders. I'm not surprised by that answer at all. I mean, that's just what it is.
I bet
today.
you're not.
And when I said anybody, I meant like all the big schools.
No.
You know what I mean? Like
yes.
they now go down layers in the big schools, not just, any school. Because we know they're still limited. But I'm saying if you are on Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, LSU's radar, now the pecking order can go way down the list of getting, things for you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where before it was more reserved for the big names.
If we have some time, we've got Nick Saban talking about this a little bit later.
Yeah, that's interesting. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. We appreciate Chris Sanders as always. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. If you want to join the show, please do so on this beautiful Wednesday. You're listening to the McFarland Show.
In a single moment, everything can change. When a player's sudden cardiac event brought a national football game to a halt, it shone a spotlight on the importance of CPR readiness. Now, with youth sports in full swing, the American Heart Association is rallying parents and coaches to be ready in an emergency. To be ready, learn hands-only CPR. It's a skill anyone can learn in minutes. Visit heart.org/hands-only-CPR and become a lifesaver today.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up, and if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Attention business owners. WNSR has some exciting opportunities for your business to thrive in the dynamic world of sports radio advertising. As the proud home of some of your favorite sports teams like the Atlanta Braves, Memphis Grizzlies, and more, we understand the power of sports in bringing people together and creating a passionate community. We believe that your business can become an integral part of this experience, reaching a diverse and engaged audience. Contact the WNSR sales team for an opportunity to discuss how Nashville's sports radio can elevate your brand to new heights. Whether you're interested in a specific sponsorship package or would like a customized solution, we are here to meet your advertising needs. Call 615-844-1039. 615-844-1039 or email saleswnsr@gmail.com. That's saleswnsr@gmail.com. And now, the fine folks at FMR Construction Services are on the air, proudly saluting the brave men and women of our U.S. military, both past and present. Thank you. This message is courtesy of FMR Construction Services, your certified pros. For commercial and residential roofing, general contracting, and painting needs, call FMR Construction Services today at 615-788-7662. 615-788-7662.
It's a Bill King Show.
We are college football centric. That is the sun that warms our planet that we live on. Our planet actually isn't flat or round. It's an oblong spheroid. And we are here to proselytize about it, edify it every day on this here radio show.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
The McFarland Show, broadcasting live in Rutherford County on 107.9 FM.
We were just having a conversation here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio about 107.9 in Smyrna. In Rutherford County. 615-844-5600 Darren and Justin, we are the McFarland Show. DJ Damon, Chris Sanders, if you're listening, hope you just laughed. He seems to get a kick out of that.
Get a kick, you know. He deserves to laugh.
That is our phone line. Good tune bringing us back. Let's go to Kenny the mailman, who we haven't heard from.
The legend.
Since he sent us this Super Bowl.
That's right.
His props.
Yes.
And we filled them both out.
We did.
And he sent us his answers. The question is, did he go back and grade his answers? Kenny, did you do that?
Oh, yeah. I got about 19 right, which is about the average, because those, if you really read them closely, some of them set each other off. So you're not going to do great on it. It's just fun.
Yeah. No, we did it. We participated 19 out of 42. Okay. And you
I'll
had
send it
Kansas
earlier
City.
Next year, and you can put it online, and everybody can do it.
Let's do that.
Hey, Chris Sanders is absolutely 100% right. 90% of the problems either come from parents encouraging bad behavior or not discouraging it. And I have a story for you. Dan, I know all your boys are all come through the Little League, and they're still playing, aren't they?
They are. Mm-hmm.
All right, so you know what I'm about to tell you.
Believe me, I had to bite my tongue when Chris was talking. I was like, I'm just going to remain quiet here.
It's supposed to be fun. 8, 9, 10-year-olds. I had a friend that was coaching that had never drafted before. He said, come with me. I don't know a lot of the kids, and help me draft 4 teams in the league. I said, great. I'll be glad to help you out. This is fun. 3 teams would pick, it'd pass a team. 3 teams would pick, it'd pass a team. It went the whole way. I asked him, I said, hey, where's that team picking? He said, oh, they already got their team. I said, no, that's not the rules. That's not how they do it. He said, well, Ken, the rule is if you're coaching, your son will always play for you. I said, yeah, I agree with that 100%. And he said, they have 9 coaches. I went right over to one of them. One of them was about 5'7" and 303 pounds. The assistant coach, and I asked him if he was the nutritionist. I mean, but they knew, and then they wanted to have a big player to start the season off, and I raised my hand and said, why? You're already showing your character. I wasn't very popular that year.
Man.
Absolutely.
And
Stuff
why?
like that starts when it's young. Yeah, my wife gets on to me every now and then. I say stuff with a smile, but boy, it does cut. But it's the truth. It's like, if you're going to start at that age, why even act like you're there for the character or to build people up? It's all about, winning. And, one lady, if her son wasn't catching or pitching, they'd leave.
Yeah.
I go, well, okay.
Kenny, I promise you we can do an entire show. Easy.
Oh, yeah,
Easy.
we need to.
On this topic.
Now, I did read one bachelor coach drafted really, really well. He didn't pick a lot of the star players. He was drafting for mamas. He had the best looking parties in the team.
Oh.
Absolutely true.
Oh,
Hey, what can I say? I can't make that up. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Kenny.
Man. Man, oh man, oh man.
Let me say this, though. Okay, because now I've been in that world for a good while. And Matty started playing when he was 3. So we went from the whole rec circuit to obviously travel the last 5 years. Like, for all that stuff Kenny laid out there, and again, we left a lot out of that conversation, too.
I bet.
It's all true, but here's the but to it.
Yes.
Justin, for all that, there's also a whole lot of good, too. There's a whole lot of good people, good families, good kids, and are doing things, the right way. So for all because you know how this works. I mean, it's like anything in life, right? I mean, we basically pick any subject matter right now, the 3 of us, and we can come up with bad stuff associated with it and the good stuff associated with it. So, it's not all bad. There is, there's a lot of people that do it for the right reasons and have their kids' best interest, at hand, and that there's a whole lot of good as well. But all that other stuff is there too.
Yeah,
and that's always going to be the case. It's never going to change because we're people, and that's how life works. You're around people, and certain people you scratch your head, you raise an eyebrow, you don't understand why they're doing certain things, and the other ones you do. You know, you get along with great, and you become friends.
And by the way, that goes for the kids playing too.
Sure.
Who, you know, that for me, because again, I can't speak from the parenting aspect, but I can certainly speak from the players aspect as, you know, somebody who played, you know, youth sports growing up. It teaches you how to get along with other people that you normally may not get along with, because it forces you to. It forces you to get along with people and work with people who may be different from you. And when I say different, I don't mean, you know, like, you know, racially or anything like that. I mean different personalities, people who conflict with you because of the way they do things versus the way you do things.
High,
and now
strong,
you have to
and quiet,
laid back, type
laid
A
back,
versus
yes.
type B personalities, people who hog the ball. How do you deal with them? People who are me first people who are too passive, people who don't, you know, stand up and do things that are obviously need to be done. You see it, they see it, and they don't do it. People who don't follow directions, and therefore it messes up the entire play, even though because they decided they wanted to do it their own way. You know, you get those folks that you have to coexist with and deal with. It also teaches you to overcome adversity. How do you deal with somebody who is just purely better than you? Even though you've been working and you've been trying and you've been, you know, running and bleeding and you've been doing all this stuff, and this guy has just come out here and manhandled you as a 8th grader, Darren. I played against John Henderson. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Baby Shaq.
Baby Shaq.
You know, defensive tackle in the NFL. Me.
Probably
I played
dunking.
against John Henderson in 8th grade.
Dunking.
Yeah, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
It's probably close to
I don't know if any of my games, because, you know, I decided to hit him first to try to make sure he didn't do it, but as much as it did. But, you know, how do you deal with people who are clearly superior athletes to whatever it is that you're doing? This is the lessons of sports in the youth setting that they're supposed to be taught, not just for the parents, but to the players as well. I will never forget that, because as hard as you work, I'm not going to be John Henderson. And so you start to get that, you know, let that sink into the psyche pretty early. You go, oh, okay. So how do we succeed anyway? How do we get something out of this anyway? What can we do about it? I mean, all of these are lessons. And, you know, how do we lose? How do we lose with grace? How do we make sure it's not the end of the world? Does the sun come up tomorrow just because it didn't go the way we wanted? This is all lessons from sports that I think are vital just to be passed down just in life in general. You know, whether you're in the NBA or you're just doing youth or whatever you're doing, it's vital to me for people to learn these lessons that sports are supposed to pass along. Now, if parents are getting in the mix and are messing up some of these lessons, then I think we're setting up for a worse society overall. And that's just, you know, what I'm saying. If people don't learn to lose, if people don't learn how to deal with other people who are different from them, if people don't learn the valuable lessons of sports, man, you know, these are your future coworkers. These are people who you have to deal with in traffic one day. These are people you have to deal with in the grocery store line one day. These are people you have to parent with. These are parents at your kid's school that you have to co-parent with on some level at another point. I mean, it's rough stuff, or it can be.
What was the final of the Super Bowl, by the way?
Of what Super Bowl?
This past one. Anybody remember the score?
25-22.
That's right. I knew it was a weird score.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at Kenny's answers. Kenny had 30-26, Kansas City.
Yeah, 25-22.
So not far. Yeah, Kansas City had 30-26.
They were tied in 19 to overtime, and the 49ers kicked the field goal. Chiefs scored the touchdown.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We'll come back. We'll hear. You want to hear the Nick? How long is the Nick Saban?
A minute 45.
All right, we'll do that. Let's take a break.
All right.
We'll also hear what one Merrill Hodge had to say about Caleb Williams. It's become a hot topic. What are the Bears going to do at 1? We'll hear what he had to say. Merrill Hodge has never been afraid to weigh in on quarterbacks over the years. And be quite honest, he's hit a lot. He's been on an island a lot and disagreeing with what people were saying. And he hasn't always been right. But, boy, there's been some big ones that, you know, he was on an island by himself and he was absolutely 100% spot on. So we'll get into some of that on the other side as you listen to the McFarland Show, WNSR.
This responsible gaming message is brought to you by the Tennessee Lottery. When you play the lottery, it's important to play responsibly. Know your limit and spend only what you can afford. Set a budget and stick to it. And remember, As long as you're having fun, you're always a winner in our book. The Tennessee Lottery is a proud supporter of National Problem Gambling Awareness Month. To learn more about problem gambling resources, visit tnlottery.com.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code LIFT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFT.
Do you ever feel like gambling is causing financial strain or hurting your relationships? The Gambling Clinic has been helping people who want to change their gambling habits for over 2 decades. With physical clinics and remote online appointments, we're here to help you make informed decisions about your gambling so it doesn't lead to a bigger problem. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com so we can work together to help you win your life back. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
I suspect a lot of Titans fans, I'm not sure, but I suspect will want Kevin Byard back. This team has turned over a new leaf, a whole new look completely in this market. We're about to embark on something we have never seen in 25 years.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. Darren and Justin live in the Strikers Bear Family Fun Center studio. We were talking about Nick Saban, the GOAT. I'm going to let you set it up.
Nick Saban, of course, has officially retired as the Alabama head coach. And he talked about, feeling a little tired, a little run down. But a lot of people didn't feel like that was the real reason why he stepped away from the game. Remember, Bill King has long said that Nick Saban will coach a long time. But what Bill King may not have known, and Bill King knows a lot, but what maybe he did not see coming, and I don't think Nick Saban saw coming, is the changes in college football to the point to where it seems, based on these comments, it literally pushed him out of the sport entirely. This is Nick Saban talking to members of Congress, to the United States Senate to be exact, in Washington, D.C. earlier this week.
All the things that I believed in for all these years, 50 years of coaching, no longer exist in college athletics. So it's always was about developing players. It was always about helping people be more successful in life. My wife even said to me, we'd have all the recruits over on Sunday with their parents for breakfast, and she would always meet with the mothers and talk about how she was going to help and impact their sons and how they would be well taken care of. And she came to me, like right before I retired and said, why are we doing this? And I said, what do you mean? She said, all they care about is how much you're going to pay them. They don't care about how you're going to develop them, which is all what we've always done. So why are we doing this? So, to me, that was sort of a red alert that we really are creating a circumstance here that is not beneficial to the development of young people, which is why I always did what I did. My dad did it. I did it. And that's the reason that I always like college athletics more than the NFL, is because you had the opportunity to develop young people. So, and I want their quality of life to be good. I think, as I said before, name, image, and likeness is a great opportunity for them to create a brand for themselves. I'm not against that at all. But to come up with some kind of a system that still can help the development of young people, I think, is paramount to the future of college athletics.
I understand his pain. I get it. I mean, for a guy like Nick Saban who's been doing it, as he just said, 5 decades, and this is what it is today, and this is the harsh reality. I think for me, what I would like to, I wish this was the better compromise, and I know the horse is out of the barn and about 9 farms over, and it's not coming back.
No.
I get it. They're going to have to figure out a way, though, to rein things in. They're going to have to put some more fence up so the horses can't get 9 farms over, right?
Yeah.
Like the horses can get out, but they gotta fence some more areas off, right? Like you've got to figure out. And I think, to me, where this, you went from 0 to 100 really fast.
Yeah.
And let's take, for example, Olivia Dunn, okay, who is from what I can tell, I don't follow women's gymnastics in the SEC.
I don't either.
But I hear, I read, I see things. She's a marginal gymnast. Is that fair to say? I mean, she's not like number 1 in the country or anything.
From all I can tell, yes.
So it's not like she's like the best gymnast in the country.
Simone Biles, she is not.
Right. So, but I think she's made like $3.5 million since she's been at LSU.
Yeah.
But and I think that's where I think I would have liked to have seen. Remember, what was his name? Jeremy, played for Colorado football, and he was a surfer, snowboard. Snowboard. He's a skier or remember
winter Olympic athlete.
Olympic athlete. And he had an opportunity to make like $100,000 snowboarding on the side.
Yeah, I forget his name.
And the NCAA was like, nope. You're not doing that.
No. You're an amateur.
You're an amateur. You can't do that. And that's just wrong. That's something he did, right? He has I think Nick Saban, and I don't want to speak for him, obviously, but I think just listening to him, he could swallow this pill a little bit better if it was kids going out there and doing it on their own, just because of, whatever they're doing.
Jeremy Bloom, by the way.
Jeremy Bloom. I said Jeremy, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah, Jeremy Bloom.
2003.
Yeah, that's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
If you could, like Olivia Dunn, and there's plenty of others. There's Twins women's basketball in Miami, Florida. There's a bunch. There's a bunch out there.
I don't travel in that circle, but yeah.
TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. They're making Twitter. They're making lots of money.
Sure.
But they're doing that. They're using their name.
Yeah.
And their brand.
Yeah.
At whatever school, and I get it, they're an athlete.
They are.
But they're using this to do videos and fun videos, and they're getting followers, and they're getting likes, and they're making money off of that. But I think what bothers Nick Saban is he's getting hit up because Alabama is one of those schools I'm talking about where it's loaded with nothing but 5- and 4-star athletes.
Yeah.
All athletes that were probably the best player on their team, maybe the best player at their, in that region. Right? They all were pampered and patted on the back and told they were great all through high school, right? Junior high and high school, they were you're amazing, right? And so they have this, and so now it's not about me going out and doing this stuff. It's really about just saying, "Hey, I'm special. I'm really good. I can help you win. How much are you going to give me?" It's just literally a handout.
Yeah. Either I'm going to help you win here, or I'm going to go somewhere else and help them win.
And I think, you see what I mean? Where I think if the NCAA could have found a way, like Jeremy Bloom and others, there's countless stories of this, where people can literally just they're an athlete, fill in the blank school, fill in the blank sport, and they've got other things that was willing to pay them And the NCAA used to be like, nope, can't do that.
Yeah.
Where if they could have seen this coming, which is laughable, it's the NCAA. They didn't see anything.
No,
they saw nothing coming ever.
No.
They could,
certainly
could
not
have
this,
maybe kept this more to, more level-headed, more to a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, like I said, we went from 0 to 100 basically overnight. Do you agree with that or disagree?
I agree that we've gone from 0 to 100. And I agree that it would have been better if we could have reined this in slowly. Yes, that would have been much better. The problem is they were so resistant, and when I say they, I mean the powers that be for the NCAA and whoever else was so resistant for so long of allowing the players to have anything that it eventually built up to this point. If they had started this process years ago by letting them, have a little something here and there, some of this avalanche may have been avoided here, but they decided no. They're amateurs. We give them a scholarship. That's their payment. And if they want something beyond that, they can forget it. And we're giving them an opportunity to make serious money on the pro level. And if they're good enough, they'll make their money there. But if they're here, they're going to walk away with an education. And a lot of people don't get to do that. So therefore, that's their reward, is they played themselves into a position where they get a college education for free if they come here and do their work. That's their reward. And if they want more than that, then, tough. They can work hard and become a pro. All right. What Nick Saban is talking about, and I think what's being mourned here, is Nick Saban is famous for trusting the what, Darren? Trust the process is something he says all the time. Yeah. I was at Nick Saban's opening press conference down in Tuscaloosa. They asked him, Coach, are you going to be making some changes? What changes do you think you're going to make? He kind of chuckled. He said, yeah, I don't really know what changes. I know what I do, and I'm going to bring what I do here. Now, if that means things change, then things change. If that means things don't, then they don't. But I have a thing that I do that I think has been successful, and that's what I'm doing. In other words, he has a process. So what's happened, Darren, is the process no longer works. The system has changed. And that's what we're really talking about. What we're talking about is Nick Saban and many others not being able to adapt to the new system that is in place. He says he liked college football versus pro football because you don't have to deal. There's no salary cap. You don't have to, negotiate with these players. You just tell them, listen, come here, do this. I'm going to make you great. And then you move on to the next level.
But recruiting was a one-time thing.
Yes. That was the other thing.
Now you have to basically re-recruit every year.
Your own play. The system has been blown to bits.
So remember, they start on these kids in 8th, 9th, 10th grade. So they've already got years invested in a lot of these, especially the big names.
Yeah.
Okay, years.
The whole system.
When they commit, when you got them, then all that hard work paid off and it was done.
Because they were there in your program. Yep.
But now it's like, well,
and sometimes you would sign guys to make sure your rival didn't get them, to that degree. But now the whole system has changed, and that's what's going to happen. The next generation of coaches, Darren, right now, somewhere, they are going to have to rewrite the books here about the ways to make sure that they can come up with new systems to work with today's athletes and today's rules, because the way that we have been doing it over the last umpteen years is no longer going to apply.
Take our final break, come back and wrap up Wednesday's edition of the McFarland Show next.
The Locksmith Company, our full-service locksmithing expert, is reminding listeners that every 2 seconds someone in the U.S. needs blood. Giving equals living, so please consider donating blood today. This message is brought to you by the Locksmith Company, a proud veteran employer for all your residential, commercial, or automotive locksmithing needs. Call today for a free estimate or a 24/7 emergency service at 931-801-5427, 931-801-5427. And also visit the lsco.com. The Locksmith Company is looking forward to seeing you.
A friend of mine just bought a new house for the first time. A new house. I mean, my wife and I'd love to own a house. So I asked him how he did it. And he smiled and he said he went to the knowledge tree. He had this happy look on his face. So I told him to tell me more. And he said, John, the lack of knowledge will keep you poor. Then he handed me a brochure. It was from Knowledge Tree Mortgage. Now I understood. And after one phone call, I understood even more. Knowledge Tree Mortgage specializes in first-time homebuyers. Folks like me who get the runaround from banks, and he got us pre-qualified. Knowledge Tree Mortgage got us our mortgage. And tomorrow, my wife and I are going to become first-time homebuyers. Here's the number, 859-9599. 859-9599. Money doesn't grow on trees. Knowledge does. Knowledge Tree Mortgage, 859-9599. 859-9599.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
There aren't any cops around.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
Hey, I can hold my liquor.
I drink and drive all the time.
If you put away some drinks, put away your keys. Fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
It's JB and the General.
You're 6'9" for Joe Alton and ran a good 40. 5:04, I believe was.
I think I saw a little bit of his workout. It looked like he was moving around pretty well.
Looked good. I will say this though: Chargers at 5, he's going to play right tackle for them. So if he makes it past then, maybe you can get him to the Titans at 7. But apparently he's not making it past number 5.
Really,
so it is unfortunate.
Weekdays 9 to 11, live on WNSR.
The McFarland Show, streaming live on the WNSR app and on WNSR.com.
Couple moved by the Titans that want 2 of their own. So they have running back Julius Chestnut, contract extension, and they have tendered an exclusive rights free agent offer to linebacker Jack Gibbons.
Played some linebacker in special teams, of course, is why they signed him. But he did play a fair share of linebacker last year for the team as well. So
Gibbons has appeared in 19 games and has 15 starts in 2 seasons with the Titans. 119 tackles, a sack, an interception, and 7 quarterback pressures.
All right.
I thought he was always kind of like a Mike Vrabel guy, so I'm a little bit surprised.
Maybe they see a new role for him here.
Yeah,
everybody, you can't cut everybody. Some people got to stay.
No, that's true. That's a good point. The Raiders are trying to cut everybody. Or
they're unloading quite a few people.
They have. We told you Jimmy Garoppolo has been waived, released. Brian Hoyer, has been waived, released. Hunter Renfrow, wide receiver, and
health issues. Yeah,
he's on.
Another one.
He's another one who's been banged up a lot.
Tough.
And what was the other one? Do you remember?
Jerry Tillery.
Yeah. So the Raiders gonna have some guys out there. Again, I'll just say it. I do not think it's a horrible idea. Have Jimmy Garoppolo as the backup for Will Levis.
You can do worse. I'm sure. But again, I just wonder if his style of play fits. But I mean, I think they've got several people in mind. I just wonder which direction they'll go. Jimmy G, here's the other thing. What are your expectations for this season? If you think you're going to make a run, then Jimmy G makes a lot of sense. Maybe if you're not sold on Levis as your quarterback, maybe you want to get another guy in the pipeline. Maybe you want to get some development going. I don't know. And like I said, this team is full of question marks because there's no blueprint. We don't know what they've done in the past because they haven't done anything in the past.
Well, if they're going to put out a Titans calendar, that would also help sales, too, if he was part of their roster.
Well, this year's Titans calendar, month of March, is Derrick Henry.
Oh, wow.
True story.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow, starting at 2 o'clock. See you then.